And good evening, everybody. This is Vinny Maletti with Maletti Law, the strongest name in law. And I am here presenting another video on this beautiful October 21st evening. It's a Friday night. It is chilly outside, but not too bad. When you're 220 pounds, you have a lot of insulation in your body to be able to weather some chilly, be able to tolerate some chilly weather. So it's not that bad. Nice night, peaceful, calm, quiet, Shabbos. Only me here. Nobody else is on the phone or in the car. October 21st. So first and foremost, please, if you like my videos, I would love you to subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we have, the better. We could deliver more content. We're more motivated to deliver content. We get subscriptions, we get fees, right? People, ads and everything, so we'll monetize. Awesome. So keep subscribing. Also go to the website, www.malettilaw.com. That's MILETTILAW.com, malettilaw.com, and sign up to the newsletters to subscribe. This video today I think is pretty important. It's happened to me often lately, and I'm getting better at catching it. What to do when you get fake checks. Sometimes you get fake checks, you get fake certified checks. So let me give you the situation, right? So the FDIC has come across this in the past. In their situation, this happens often in get-rich-quick schemes. Obviously, the guy from Sudan who has a $9 billion check is probably not going to give you a $9 billion check. Happens with online auction and marketplaces. You see this a lot with Facebook. Whenever you buy something, if you ever go on a Facebook marketplace or an Instagram marketplace, you'll see someone that says, hey, selling this microwave for $10, buy now, send it as a gift on PayPal or Venmo. So that it happens there. That's electronic. I mean, this video is really to checks and certified checks. Certified checks threw me off when it happened. And then this also happens in secret mystery shoppers, secret shoppers. You might get solicited, say, hey, we want you to participate in the secret shopper thing. Go ahead and dump this check in your checking account, send the check over here, minus your fees, blah 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 blah, and then you smoked. I see this the most as a lawyer. I see the most in escrow accounts, for instance, buying domain names and source codes, and then I see this often in purchasing items. So someone will say that they want to purchase an item, they'll send you the check, you retain your fees, you send your payment over that way, and then, that's a big problem. So this happened. That's where I notice these a lot. So the FDIC notices these kind of scams the most in get-rich-quick schemes, lottery schemes, online marketplace, and mystery shopper, secret shoppers. I notice this the most in escrow accounts and purchasing items online. All right, so what exactly happens? So what happens? So essentially this video is about fake and fraudulent checks, or fake or fraudulent certified checks. Certified checks threw me off a little because I didn't think those would be so easily faked, but they certainly are. Okay. You get a solicitation email. Email says, Mr. Maletti, I would love to, Mr. Maletti, I am an investor with big hedge fund, and big hedge fund wants to buy this product. We would like you to facilitate the transaction because we need a lawyer's eyes on it. We need you to draft the purchase agreement. You need to draft this, you need to draft this, you need to draft all these things. We're going to give you a check for $1 million. The product is $900,000. You're going to take that $1 million check, you're going to deposit in your bank account. Within 3 days, we're going to give you the AOK, and you're going to then send $900,000, keep the $100,000 for yourself, and that's going to be a fantastic transaction. Very easy for you. You did your purchase order. Very easy, no problem. Here's your specific instructions. Let it go. Scenario one. Another common scenario as a lawyer you'll see is with escrow accounts. Someone wants to buy a source code or wants to buy a domain name. We'll use source code. Someone wants to buy a source code and says, hey, I want to buy the source code. I got to give this guy a deposit. I'm going to give him a $500,000 deposit. Upon the first deposit, I want you to release $425,000. Keep $75,000 for yourself, for your fees. I'm going to test the source code within 3 days of you receiving the check. I should be able to tell you okay, and then you go ahead and send them the money. So here's the problem with this, everybody. What happens when that check comes in the mail? You take that check, or that certified check, because I seen a certified bank check, which was really crazy. Again, I didn't think those would be so easily forged. And then you put in your bank account. Then what do? You wait a couple of days, you see the money's there, you're all excited, nothing's a problem, and then you transfer that money out, and now you're screwed because your bank is going to put a lien on, is going to flag your account. If you happen to have a substantial amount of money in there, you can kiss that money goodbye because the bank is going to take it from your account, or it's going to be a fraud on the bank and you're gonna get dinged. Your account's gonna be closed. You're gonna run into some kind of issues or whatever the case is. When it comes to fraudulent checks, right? So my initial thought process was that all checks were going to be FDIC insured for up to something like, what was it, like 250,000 or something. I have communicated with multiple banks, including my own, which I can't say in Santander. I've communicated with multiple banks. What they do is when they find out that the check is fraudulent, they merely take it out. They take it back from your account. They give your account the NSF, whatever, the no non-sufficient funds, or whatever the case is. They give your account the NSFF or whatever it is. They give your account the penalty, and then they move on, right? So you hit the penalty, you eat the penalty, you lost that money. But what happens, let's say, if you have $1 million in your bank account, right? You're really excited. You keep this $1 million in for investing, whatever. Somebody sends you a check for $200,000, says, I want you to transfer them $100,000. They deposit this check for $200,000, you transfer $100,000, and then that $100,000 disappears. The bank will take it from your account. Period. They will take it from your account. I've yet to hear a bank tell me that they had a way to prevent this from happening. I just simply, for whatever reason, technology is not fast enough in the banking system to be able to go ahead and catch issues with checks, issues with certified checks. So for whatever reason, technology hasn't got there yet, and banks don't know what to do. Banks are shielded and insulated. Banks have protection from the FDIC. You, as a person, do not. I am sorry. I've yet to hear one bank tell me, it's okay, Mr. Maletti, we would have got you your money back anyway. I have yet to hear that. I have not heard that from Bank of America. I have not heard that from Santander. I've yet to hear that from any of the banks I deal with. Could be all terrible banks. I don't know, but I have yet to hear that from any bank. So you would have been the scam. You would have been the one that got scammed. You would have been the one that lost your money if you would have had a sufficient amount of funds in the bank account, and you would have been in trouble. So I'm here to help you plan for these kind of contingencies. So general practice, general rules that you could follow, that you will not run this risk. Fortunately for me, I've never been fooled. So far, I haven't had any bad issues. I had the first time I was surprised, but then I started implementing protocols which caught everything else. The only shock that I had was the certified checks, because I didn't think that those could be so easily forged, but apparently I guess they can in 2022. All right, so tip number 1. Any check that you get, whether it be even a certified check or regular check that's drafted from any other account, always wait 7 business days before you do anything with that money. Don't make any plans to pay it. Don't make any plans to pay it out. Don't plan to pay bills with it. Wait 7 days no matter what. Most likely, your check, the longest I've had, has been like 5 business days that it's been detected by the banks. 5 business days is a lot of days to wait, but it's better than rushing through it and getting smoked, right? So no matter what you do, when it comes to checks, when it comes to even cashier checks, wait at least 7 business days before you make any movement. Put the money in the bank before you make any movement. The second thing I would also take a look at is a few preliminary things. One, if you're randomly solicited by somebody and they're super agreeable, they have no debate on anything, and they're just happy to send you money, and they sign papers without even having your spelling checks or spelling errors in there, if you get that, I hate to say it, but most of the time that's a fraud. People are not so happy to spend money. Nobody ever wants to spend money with you. Everybody wants to lowball you. It's just the way life is, and I can't stand it, but this is how people are. 99% of people around you always want to lowball you, no matter how rich they are. How did you think they got rich in the first place? By lowballing people. So if you get somebody on the email that says, hey, my name is Joe Schmo and I'm the CEO of Bank of America, they're probably not the CEO of Bank of America. They're probably a scam artist. Second, when they send you that check in the mail, or when they send you an image of that check, whatever the case is, the first thing you probably want to do is check to see where that check was drafted. If it was drafted by a legitimate bank, I've literally seen physical checks come in that say, instead of BOA, it'll say BOH. I don't know why, but it'll say BOH, whatever. You could spot fake checks pretty quickly. They have real clear deficiencies. Another thing I would probably suggest, and I've been doing this, is I would verify everything that comes in like that. So for instance, if a check comes in and the check was drawn on TD Bank, I would literally call TD Bank and say, hey, do you have any record of this check? Some banks will have you come in. I will not do that. I'd rather just put it in my bank account, wait a couple days, and let it get pulled back. I don't care. But some banks will be able to verify it for you, which is really nice. So some of them will do it over the phone. Some you have to go in. I feel like Chase you have to go in, which I'm surprised because Chase is usually like the most technologically like savvy bank. Another thing, consider who sent it to you, right? So you will often find one word missing in the company. So I don't know, let's say WWE, right? Someone says Vince McMahon from WWE sends you this check. I mean, it's probably not, but if it is, sometimes the email would be like Vince McMahon at gmail.com. Like, it wouldn't be this typical email that you're expecting, or it would be something different. Verify, write these people's names in Google and find out who they are and where they're from. That'll come up right away. Another thing I'd probably tell you is why you received the check. If you have no advertisements online and this person just came out of nowhere and wants to give you everything, odds are that's fraudulent. Like, without even going further from the door. Another thing is, look where the check was mailed from. You'll notice the stamp on the front from the post office, right? The post office stamp. It sounds crazy, but sometimes that stamp comes from a totally different location. It can come from another country. Sometimes it's wild. But check to see where that thing is stamped. That's another good idea. Some other items that scam artists are getting really good at doing, so I wouldn't really, this wouldn't be like my end giveaway, but like some scam artists are very good at watermarks and the actual like copying the check. So you could check it, see if the check doesn't have a watermark, see if it's missing some item. You probably wouldn't know what it's missing anyway, because I mean, then you don't know what every bank is selling you. But it's just worth noting. I've never seen that, but it's worth noting, and the FDIC mentions it as something that's common. I will tell you some very specific ones for us, for attorneys and escrow accounts and source codes. The person that is sending you the check, or the person that's working, will always use a real name with similar contact info, but there will be one difference. It might be a number, it might be a letter. It might say biglots.com. The the I might actually be a lowercase l because it looks like an I. So I would be very cautious. Always, they will they will use real names, but they will use similar handles, similar email accounts. So just be cognizant of that. Odds are, if you're a nobody, and I don't mean to tease anybody here, but if you're a nobody and the CEO of Goldman Sachs reaches out to you, it's not the CEO of Goldman Sachs. I'm sorry, it didn't happen to me. It's not happening to you. It's not happening to nobody here. Another thing I will point out, when the person giving you the check gives you very specific instructions, and pay attention to the instructions, because this is what I caught. Almost every scam has asked to send the payment in 4 days. Almost every single scam has always asked for 4 business days, 3 to 4 business days. Why? Because they start threatening to sue you on the 3rd business day, and then on the 4th business day they expect you to send it out, but your check doesn't clear till the 5th business day. Follow. Always 3 to 4 business days. Now, you alleviate this by just waiting 7 days, which is what you should all do. But just keep this in mind, they will always push for 3 to 4 business days. I mean, that's just how it is, because it usually takes the banks like 5 days to get through. The third item that I've noticed really specifically was this whole concept of just deducting your amount. Just deduct whatever you want, no problem. Don't even give it to me, just deduct it. Never, ever. I don't care who your client is. You could have Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, a bajillionaire, the only jillion person in Springfield, Illinois. No, nobody does this. So keep that in mind. Nobody does this. Okay. So what do you do when you come across these things, right? So that's kind of what I want to talk about here. So what do you do when you come across things? Rule number 1, again, off the bat, every single check you get, you need to tell that person 7 business days before or you tell them that you're not going to make any moves until it's deposits and clears, period. Because you need to protect yourself, because the bank will take that money back from you ASAP, and they do not care. They don't care. They want no accountability. They don't give a shit. They will not help you. That's just how it is. So first thing you do, 7 business days before you even make a move. All right. Second, I am notorious for IC3 complaints. I file endless IC3 complaints when I get these things. I mean, immediately I say I don't send. I literally send the IC3. IC3 stands for Internet Crime Complaint Center. It is, I believe, this is a agency. What, with the FBI, I think. Basically, you report like attempted theft, cybercrime, cyberbullying, whatever the case is. You report. You write down your victim information, which is always you, your financial transaction information. You give them a copy of the check or money order. You just tell them the bank. You tell them the routing number, everything. So, sorry, took a moment there. Description of the incident. You start talking. You give them a little description of it. You tell them what the situation was. You give them a step-by-step date, event, date, event, date, event, date, event. Help them help you, right? Give them what they need to help you to find the wrongdoer or use best efforts to find them. You'll be very disappointed because they don't get back to you. And this kind of just goes like down the waste bin a little bit, but sometimes, you'll follow up and you'll get sometimes you get something. I'm just looking through to see what else they do here. They'll ask you to specify how you were contacted. In my situations, it was email intrusion, but it could be other things. It could be like a spoofed email, it could be a fax, it could be something. They'll ask you who was the person that victimized you, who is your official contact. Make sure you give them as much information as possible on there. And then they'll ask you if you have any other additional information. They'll want copies of the documents you got. They'll try to source and track everything. So that's what they'll ask for. So then you file with your IC3 and you take it from there. That's really all you can do. You just got to be vigilant, but just you alleviate all these problems by simply saying, I am not going to make a move until this cashes, and it's going to cash in 7 days, and it's going to clear in 7 days, so I'm not making any moves. So that's what I would do here. So that is my video. I hope this is helpful. I cannot tell you, be careful. This happens. I see these all the time. Endlessly. I verify every single person that comes in. I do not let anyone go past my door or even so much as talk to me without verifying. So keep that in mind. Stay safe out there. Don't just fall into people. Anything having to do with checks and banks, you will always wind up being the loser. So just make sure they have to wait their time. Make them wait a week. Make them wait whatever business days you need. And again, stay safe and vigilant, because people are animals. People are careless and disgusting, and everybody's out to hurt you, and the banks don't give a shit. They will take your money, they will leave you for dead, and they will move on. And if they can't get that money from you, they will go right to the government. They'll be fine, but you will not be fine. So just keep that in mind. So I hope this was helpful. I hope none of you need to actually call me for running into issues and problems, and I hope that what this video did was enlighten all of you and help you to determine whether Joe Schmo from Goldman Sachs really wants to give you that $700 million check or not. So, as always, I wish you all a very wonderful and happy and healthy weekend. Yours in law, love, and lifts. And you all know the quote here. It's eat big, get large, get huge, and when you die, leave a gigantic casket behind. So, always stay unusually motivated, people. This is Milady Law out. Remember, subscribe, newsletter, contact us, stay in touch. We have cool stuff going on all the time, and take care.